Major Slack Videos.
Boy, yeah, the name is Slack. Thanks for coming back. Let's walk through some more Cyberpunk 2077. And before we get into this mission here, next mission, which is the rescue. And sorry, I'm calling them missions. I just can't get used to calling them jobs. If you hear me say mission, I mean main job, all right? So this is a main job, main mission. Before we get into that, let's do an overview of how the multi-build power start is going to work by doing an overview of attributes and skills. If you already know about all this stuff, I'm going to split up this video into chapters so you can just skip ahead. Just hover over the progress bar and you'll see the video split up into chapters, and just skip ahead to the next chapter to get into the walkthrough of this mission. All right. For now, everybody go to character, and here we have an overview of the 5 attributes that I introduced in part 1. All right, body, reflexes, technical ability, intelligence, and cool. If you hover over each attribute, you see which skills it covers. All right, so body covers athletics, annihilation, street brawler. Reflexes covers handguns, blades, and assault, etc., etc., etc. All right, now attributes can only be leveled by using attribute points. How do we get attribute points, Slack? You get attribute points by leveling up. Let's go back to the main menu, hover over character, and you see stats. Click on stats, and you see here is your character level. Here is your street cred level. Here is your character level. Go back to the main menu. In the main menu in the bottom right corner, you see database. Click on database. Click on the question mark here, and here is a complete help file for the game. Scroll on down to leveling up. Click on that. And here we go. Completing jobs and other activities will give you experience points, or XP as everyone knows, that increase your level. Every level you gain, you earn a perk point that can be spent to unlock a perk within a skill tree. And every 3 levels you gain, you earn an attribute point that you can use to improve one of your core attributes. This is wrong. Okay, this description is wrong. Actually, you gain an attribute level every level, not every 3 levels. How do you know the description is wrong? Because it makes sense. First of all, that's the way it's been happening. Or like somebody be asking, how do I know that the game is not glitched out by giving me an attribute level every level, and they're eventually going to patch it so that it matches this description? I'll tell you why. Because it's impossible. If we go back to character, let's use reflexes as an example attribute. Click on that. Go into handguns and go down here to this perk right here. Every skill has 1 or more capstone perks, which can only be had when that skill reaches level 20. Okay, so perk requires level 20 in handguns to unlock. Now the way it works is every skill can only be leveled up to the level of its parent attribute. Alright, so handguns can only be leveled up at this point to level 5. At level 5, what's going to happen is here's your handgun skill progression. It's going to go up to 100%, and at that point, no matter how much you use handguns, you're not going to level up any further than level 5 until you put another point into reflexes. At that point, you have reflexes up to level 6, and then you'll be able to level up the handgun skill to level 6. So, if you were only awarded an attribute point every 3 levels, and the level cap for the entire game for the character level is level 50, you could only possibly earn 17 attribute points throughout the entire game. Alright, so that description has to be wrong. It's not the fact that the game is awarding you an attribute point every level that's wrong. It's that description that's wrong. All right, because if that were true, it would be impossible to get any of the capstone perks. It would be impossible to reach this. All right, so that's how I know that that description is wrong, rather than the awarding of an attribute every level is wrong. All right, so now we got that out of the way. Skills. They only level up by using the skill. So for weapons, it's easier to understand. Handguns, you can only level up the handgun skill by simply using pistols and revolvers to make kills. You know, kill an enemy with a pistol or a revolver, and you will level up the handgun skill. Now, what happens is here you can have a complete list of the rewards that you get as you level up the handgun skill. It goes all the way up to 20. Okay, 20 is the max. All right, and every time you level up handguns by using that particular skill, you get the level 2 reward. Level up to level 3, you get the level 3 reward. Level up to level 4, you get the level 4 reward, and so on and so forth. Now, if you notice, all the skills will reward you a perk point at either level 2 or level 3. Every skill except one skill will reward you with a perk point at level 2 or level 3. Okay, so let's check it out. Handguns is level 3. Assault, it's level 3. Blades, it's level 3. Let's go to technical ability. However, crafting, you see it's actually at level 2. Right? Engineering, once again, level 2. Go to body. Here it's level 3. Level 3 for annihilation. Level 3 for street brawler, and so on and so forth. The only skill that does not reward you with a perk point at either level 2 or level 3 is cold blood, and that the first time you get a perk point is at level 4. Alright, so you're starting to see a pattern here. What we have at our disposal here is an easy way to farm perk points. Even if you have no intention of using assault rifles, it is worth it to use assault rifles just enough to level up the assault skill to level 3 to get that perk point. It happens very fast, okay? A couple of 3 encounters, boom, you got a perk point in assault. Even if you have no intention of using handguns, you know, you want to use, for example, shotguns, it is worth it to use handguns just enough to level up handguns to level 3 to get that perk point. Obviously, you don't, well, maybe that's not obvious, but you don't have to, just because you earn a perk point in handguns doesn't mean you're required to spend the perk point in handguns. Once you get that perk point, you can spend it anywhere you like. Alright, so all these skills can be farmed for perk points. Alright, so how many skills do we have? We have 3 under reflexes, 3 under body, 2 under technical ability, that's 8, 2 under intelligence, that's 10, and 2 under cool, that's 12. 12 easy perk points up for grabs simply by using that skill a little bit to get it up to either level 2 or level 3. Now, cool is one exception, or rather cold blood is one exception. Did I mention this? It is actually at level 4 that you get your first perk point. And another thing is you can't actually level up cold blood until you put a 1 perk into cold blood, which will kind of activate the whole cold blood buff. And at that point, you start earning cold blood XP. Now, whether it's worth it or not, there's opinions differ on this. You'd have to get it to level 4 just to get your perk point back, and then after that, you get another perk point at level 5. Maybe worth it. I'm not going to do it. Back to body and athletics. Athletics levels very, very slowly. Incredibly slowly. It's pretty much all about how athletic you are, how much you slide, how much you dodge, how much you climb. It's all about your stamina bar. You have to run down your stamina bar. Okay, you can see your stamina bar. I'll show you that later on in the game, but once you run down your stamina bar 4 times, you get a lousy 20 XP in athletics. It's really, really slow, except if you get I should be showing you this later on, but if you get the Gorilla Arms Cyberware, then it starts leveling up really fast. But you know, that's like way down the line, and if I recall correctly, costs 45. No, wait, that's the legs one. Anyways, it costs like thousands and thousands of eddies to buy the Gorilla Arms Cyberware. So just to, you know, you'd have to buy that to kind of like level up athletics very quickly. All right, so that's athletics and cold blood that are out of the equation for this multi-build power start. That leaves 10 perk points, easy perk points that are up for grabs to help with our cold, or rather, I'm getting my words mixed up, to help with our multi-build power start. Okay, 10 easy perk points. That's on top of leveling up your level 10 times. So that's like 20 perk points that we can get that will make up our multi-build power start. Now, if we were to follow the main quest line, basically the main quest, it's very story heavy. Okay, lots of dialogue, and there are some restrictions as you're doing main quests. I don't want to do any spoilers, but that dialogue and those restrictions make it's not really an ideal ground to farm perk points. You're much better off, as I mentioned in part 1, to abandon the main quest line as soon as you do the Ripper Doc mission. The Ripper Doc mission will give you cyberware, introduce you to the whole idea of using cyberware. Once you get your free cyberware, just basically bail out of the main mission line and you're going to go to the map. And at that point, the map is going to have a whole bunch of jobs called NCPD scanner hustles, and just basically side jobs that you can do. There's about 100 of them in the Watson district alone. That's just in this section alone. Wait a minute, that's where's Watson? Yeah, in this section alone, there's like easily 100. Okay, that's what you're gonna do. But that's what we're going to do, is we're going to go into, after we finish a certain number of main missions, we're gonna break from the main mission line and start doing all these side jobs, because they're very quick. There's very little dialogue. Some of them have a quick briefing, but that's it. And then you go into the area, you kill half a dozen or a dozen enemies, go straight to the mission objective, complete the objective, and you're done. And then you can move on to the next one. It's very quick. There's a ton of combat, and it's very fast paced. And that's how we're going to use the game to farm perk points in the manner that I just described. All right? Did you get all that? All right, next I should talk about perks. Perk points. You're going to be spending your perk points on these perks. If you go into any particular perk, you're going to see some perks that are highlighted in red. These are the perks that you can get now. If you go to the other ones that are grayed out, you're going to see there's requirements. The requirements are always a level requirement for the parent attribute. So as you can see here on the fly in the handgun skill, this perk requires that you have the reflexes attribute at level 7 before you can get this perk. Now you're going to see these little branches connecting these perks, right? It's not a perk tree. All right, let me just switch over to my other save now, if this will explain this better. Okay, here's my full-blown level 10 20 streak cred multi-build power start. Let's go to reflexes, and here's a good example of what happens when your skill reaches the level of the parent attribute. Here handguns has reached level 5. It cannot go any further because we only have 5 points in reflexes, and here you see it's maxed out. Can't go any further. No matter how much we use handguns, we cannot max or level up handguns any further. Now let's spend a whole bunch of points in reflexes to unlock more perks, because these are all locked behind certain attribute levels. Okay, so let's go back, spend all these attribute points in reflexes. Okay, now let's go back to handguns, and as you can see, a whole bunch of perks are now unlocked because we have reached the required level in the parent attribute. All right, and some are still locked, but a whole bunch of others are unlocked. Now let's say you want this perk here, which was previously locked by, say, a level, let's say it was level 12. I don't remember exactly what it was, but let's say it was level 12. We can now get this perk. But if you notice, all the perks in the center of the skill tree are the lower level perks, and all the perks that, like, you know, around, the further away you go from the center, the higher the level the parent attribute is required to get that perk. You don't have to go through these branches, and it's not like a normal RPG where you start at the lower level perk and then you get that one, you go to this branch, get this one, and then finally you can unlock this one. It doesn't work like that. We can get this perk right away. See? You don't even have to, like, it's nothing to do with the lower perks. All that is required is that the parent attribute is met. The parent attribute level is met. So for example, here, this perk would require level 14. We're just one short, whereas this one we can get it. See, so don't be fooled into thinking you have to follow these branches. You can, as long as you've unlocked the required level, you can get any perk you want. All right. So that, I find, is great because it avoids having to get a lot of junk perks. You know how it is in other RPGs where, you know, it's like a skill tree. You have to get the lower perk, and then once you got that perk, it unlocks the next perk, and then once you get that perk, unlocks the next perk. This avoids having to get a whole bunch of junk perks that you don't want just to get to that higher level perk. It's absolutely genius. I love this. Okay, so that's the way that works. So don't be fooled into thinking that you have to follow the branches. The branches are just kind of, I don't even know why they put them there. Maybe it's kind of like some kind of like visual thing, but it's got nothing to do with an actual skill tree. All right, back to the previous save, and I think that about covers everything. Let's get busy. Let's do this mission. And there's more stuff to explain, but I'll explain that when we get to that point. So the rescue, we're here with Jackie.
This way.
You should always scan around everywhere. There's not much junk in here, but you at this point, yeah, Jackie's in hurry up mode. I'm going to turn off his dialogue shortly because I find it really annoying that he's always like nagging you to hurry up. There's some junk. Yeah, you really want to like get stingy with the junk in the beginning. Collect all the junk you can. Okay, good enough.
Make moves, mano.
Okay, T-Bug's on the phone. Hello, T-Bug.
Sandra Dorset. Target's biomon went mute a couple hours back. Suspected abduction. Target could have possibly flatlined already. Not sure you're in time.
We're in time, Bug. We. Sure you're on phones, but that don't make you any less part of this squad.
Squad. Charming.
Okay, I'm curious as to what happens when you just let this run down. I've never done this before. Nothing. Okay. Hoping to screw up something in the game. Okay, once again, hit your scanner. For the scanner. Took the trouble to list this here. The button that I'm hitting to scan is L1 on the PS4 and LB. I don't know what that means, but LB on the Xbox. Okay, hold down that button and you can toggle scan on without holding it. Alright, pick up this junk, pick up this junk, go to your inventory, click on backpack, go to junk, and we're going to disassemble all this junk right away. Alright, now, as you just assemble junk, you're going to be collecting components. As you see, we've already collected 16 common item components and 4 uncommon item components. Everybody click on your crafting, go to the crafting menu, and here are all the things that we can craft right away. Right? Everything that you can craft requires a crafting spec. These are all the crafting specs that the game gives you by default right away. Items are all classified according to quality. There's common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary, and they're all color coded. Common is white, uncommon is green, rare is blue, epic is purple, and legendary is purple. Alright, so we can craft all these if we have the components. And you may not be aware of, I've noticed a lot of people are not aware, you can actually craft ammo. Okay, so you should never be short of ammo. Here you can craft ammo, and in the beginning you can craft grenades, and here is your health bounce backs, and here's another kind of health consumable, which I think is a lot better, max stock. This gives you more health, but over a period of time. This gives you less health, but it gives it to you instantly. I think max stocks are way better. We can actually craft this sniper rifle before the end of this mission if we really hoard all the junk and instantly disassemble it. Alright, so that's one of our goals. So you're looking around for junk. There's some junk right there. That's another thing you can disassemble. Back to our inventory. Backpack. Consumables. Like I said, I don't use bound backs. I instantly disassemble them. And here's the drink we picked up, so we can disassemble that. To disassemble bounce backs, you're gonna have to unequip it. So unequip it here, then go back to your backpack, and you can see that you can disassemble these. We won't need them. All right, now what we're looking for is 30 common items and 25 uncommon components to craft our tech sniper. So we're only 4 short.
Looking for 1237.
There's some more
Target
junk.
should be inside, but I got 0 eyes.
Okay, I'm just demonstrating this to demonstrate the tedium of disassembling all the junk on the fly. This is very important. Okay, I'm not trying to bore you. This is by way of demonstration. Okay, there's some more junk.
Ugh, I hate this life or death shit. Hurry.
Okay, we now have enough common item components. We need 15 more uncommon item components to craft a sniper rifle.
Hannes, is that you?
Go back inside. Go back in. There's some more junk.
Try hacking the door. Think you can trip it on your own, V?
Food cannot be disassembled. Okay, so pissed off yet? Okay, no, this is very important because this will demonstrate why. I'm going to do something else later on. Okay, here's the door that we have to go through. Everybody hit your scanner. There are many devices that can be scanned. This door, what will happen is when you scan something, the available quick hacks that pertain to that particular device will pop up and you'll be able to do something. For example, in this situation, we could open the door. It costs 2 RAM. You start out with 5 RAM.
Make moves, mano.
If you go to your inventory and hover over inventory, click on cyberware. Here is your cyber deck. This is our default cyber deck. It says it starts out with 2 base RAM, but actually there's another 3 RAM that come from somewhere, maybe like your natural ability. There's always 3 RAM. So whenever you see a cyber deck that has a certain number of base RAM, add 3 on top of that, and that's how much RAM you have to do quick hacks in combat. Alright, so to open this door we have to use 2 RAM. Just do it, and it opens the door, and look at the left side of the screen. We were earned 81 XP. So now it's underway. We have started leveling up Breach Protocol. Okay, go to intelligence and see we got 81 XP. See that? It's right there, 81 XP. So Breach Protocol is one of those skills where you get a perk point right away at level 2. That's what we're going for in this mission. Alright? And once again, collect all the junk. More junk over here. Hang on. Okay. Jackie's nagging us about this target here. Is this the target? Inspected?
Sandra Dorset's protected under Echelon 2 corporal immunity. Our girl's top shelf. This one's packing black market Zeta Tech repros. Typical back alley fix-ups. Not our lucky gal. Let's keep looking.
Alright, now at this point, Jackie's going to shut up. I'm turning off the dialogue. All he's gonna do is just nag you and feed you nonsensical instructions about how to do the mission. Okay, and I just want to turn that off for now. Here's the data shard. I'm going to quickly access these and then scroll through them, see if anything happens, and then immediately jet them. You're gonna have to pause the video if you want to read those. Alright, so let's check our inventory. Backpack. More stuff to junk. Oh, and we can junk these too. This should do it. Unequip them. Backpack. Bingo. We now have, how many do we need? Yep, see, it's unlocked. We can now craft a sniper rifle right away. Right away. We're ready to do it. Okay, we have enough components. Let's do it. Boom. Got ourselves a sniper rifle. Got yourself a new weapon. So, you start out with the default, this pistol here, the Unity pistol. Unfortunately, you can't disassemble it. Let's equip the sniper. Don't have the scope yet. We're gonna get a scope later and put this in slot number 2. So now we have a sniper rifle and the pistol. Okay, the sniper rifle has no scope, but it does a hell of a lot more damage than the pistol. Okay, you see the pistol does 14 to 17 damage. Let's just call it 17. And the sniper rifle does a whopping 61 damage. DPS is almost comparable as well. Alright, so that's what we have at our disposal. Let's hook up the pistol for now. This is the way to continue. Okay, I turned off Jackie's dialogue, but it basically is saying just be careful as you go through here. Okay, we have our first enemy. Go into crouch mode. Scan. And the freezer in front of him can be scanned, and the quick hack that we can use on it is distract enemies. All devices, pretty much all devices on ground level or like a little above ground level can be used to distract enemies. It's going to cost us 2 RAM and it's going to distract this guy. We don't need to do that because he's got his back to us, but let's do it anyways to get breach protocol XP. Okay, watch the left side of the screen there. We got 75 breach protocol XP, and let's just sneak up behind him and grab him and do a takedown and high body combination. Throw him in the freezer and we get more XP. Stealth XP for that. Should have got stealth XP for that. Indeed we did. There you go. Got a ton of XP for that. Alright, let's follow Jackie. There's lots of junk to collect in this area, just ignore it. Go all the way over to this side here. And turn back, and there's 2 guys are going to come out here every time. That's what Jackie's telling you now. 2 guys are going to come out there, and we're going to do a stealth kill. Actually, a friendly takedown, a non-lethal takedown on the guy on the right. Okay? And Jackie's going to do a takedown on that guy. So go up to this guy and do a friendly takedown, a non-lethal takedown. Take him down. There we go. And I think Jackie may kill this guy. Anyways, let's grab his stuff. Grab both their stuff. Very good. And you can pick up bodies. See that? Whatever the button is for you. Pick it up. And you're going to earn more XP by stuffing this body in the freezer here. We got 106 XP for that, so make sure you do that. If you're stealthing around, that's part of earning stealth XP, is dumping bodies. Right, and let's grab this guy's stuff. It's one of those situations where okay, we'll worry about that later. Next, in this area here are 3 enemies. If you use your scanner, you can actually tag enemies. Okay, you look down the bottom right, you see they're tagging. For me, it's the middle mouse button. I looked up on the Xbox and the PS4 controller scheme, so I couldn't find out what it is. You're gonna have to figure out what that is in your game. So you could just like click that and now he's tagged. See that? Another enemy over there. It's good to do this. Later on when we get the ping quick hack, you won't need to do this anymore. Or maybe a little bit, but for now, aim at the enemy, scan them, and tag them. As you can see, all the enemies are now tagged. Even if we don't have a line of fire or a line of sight on them, we can see them. Alright? Now, there are also 5 devices in this area. There are 2 ceiling fans. One there. Let's just tag it. Tag it. Another ceiling fan over there. Tag it. There's a radio here. Tag it. See, now we can see all these devices even though we don't have a line of sight on them. There is a floodlight over here. Tag it. And finally, a speaker over here. Tag it, right? So now we got all this stuff tagged. Every one of these devices can be used to distract enemies and earn breach protocol XP. But first, we're going to use the breach protocol itself. This quick hack itself. What it does is it lowers the RAM cost of all quick hacks in this area. And it's like a little mini game. The breach protocol itself doesn't cost any RAM. Let's just do that right now. This is just a very quick explanation of how breach protocol works because it gets much more complicated later on. I'll explain the more complicated version later on, where you have like, you know, many more sequences to enter and then like multiple lines to enter. For now, all we have to do is enter these 2 numbers, find these 2 numbers in this matrix, enter them, and we will lower the cost of all quick hacks in this area. All right, now the trick is the first number you have to enter. Let's explain it like this. The first available entry is always found on the first row. You don't necessarily have to enter the first number. You can enter any number to set up like other sequences. But the first available entry is found in the first row. Then whatever entry you make there, let's say for example you entered BD, then the next entry has to be in the column that the first entry was found in. So you see how this column is lit up? Alright, this no longer becomes available, and then we'd have to find 1C in this column. And then let's say there are more numbers to enter. Let's say the next number to enter was E9. So at that point you enter E9, and at that point it switches from column back to row. And then the next number you'd enter would have to be in this row. And then let's say you had to enter BD, and then the next number you have to enter would have to be in this column. So in that manner it keeps switching back from row to column to row to column. You see what I mean? Here, and that's the best I can explain it with just 2 numbers. So all we have to do is enter these 2 numbers here, and you have 4 tries to pull it off. Once you enter the first number in the sequence, the next entry has to be the next number in the sequence, otherwise it fails. And if you don't have enough tries in your buffer, the whole thing's going to fail altogether. But you don't necessarily have to enter the first number in the first row. For example, we could enter, oh yeah, and as soon as you make your first entry, the timer starts. There's your timer. You have 30 seconds to pull it off. Okay, so once you make your first entry, you got 30 seconds to complete it. So let's say, for example, there was no BD in the first row. Do you fail it automatically? No. You can enter any BD. So for example, you could enter 55 and then go down here, enter, see how this is lit up now? Enter BD here and then enter 1C here to complete the sequence. See, as long as you have enough tries to pull it off. Alright? I've explained it. And exit interface, and now all our quick hacks are cheaper. As you can see before, distract enemies cost 2 RAM, now it only costs 1 RAM. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use distract enemy on all these devices to earn some XP, and we're going to level up breach protocol. Let's start with the floodlights. Distract enemies. Now using this strategically in combat, what happens is the enemy that's distracted will be highlighted in white. See, that's the enemy that's distracted by that particular device. He's distracted for a little bit of time, and then he'll go back to his regular routine. and that will be indicated by him turning red. He's still distracted, and he goes back to his regular routine. Now, if we try to use distract enemies on this one again, which we can use for strategic purposes, but for purposes of leveling up, it will only give us a little bit of XP. See that? Only 8 XP. So it's not like you can milk or farm distract enemies on one device over and over again. Okay, the game has limits set for that. All right, now let's do the ceiling fan here. Watch how much XP we earn for this. That should have been a lot more XP. It could be according to enemies. Let's wait for him to go back to his regular routine. And let's try the ceiling fan here. There we go, 81 XP. Let's let him go back to his regular routine. There he goes back to his regular routine. Now let's use distract enemies on the speaker. And there we go, 81 XP. He's highlighted in white, that means he's distracted. And finally, the radio. And there we go. We leveled up Breach Protocol. Just like that. Just by using distract enemy on all those 5 devices there. Now, obviously, okay, this happened in my Doom Eternal walkthrough. People are going, oh, this is going to be a really slow walkthrough. Obviously, I'm not going to go through this explanation every single time we get into an encounter, and, you know, we're going to be using distract enemy and whatnot, you know. Like, that was your one tutorial on distract enemies, okay? I expect everyone who doesn't understand how distract enemies works in leveling up Breach Protocol, I'll refer him to this section of part 2. That's it, that's all, okay? After this, it's going to be like, you know, we'll get into encounters and I'm just going to use distract enemy willy-nilly. I'm not even going to bother to explain why. Anyways, we have 1 perk point. This is important. This perk point is going to be spent in crafting and scrapper. Alright, now a lot of people, well, some people are going to disagree. I don't know how many. This perk here, I already demonstrated how tedious it is to constantly disassemble junk that you're picking up on the fly in order to keep track of, you know, how many components you have and what you can craft and whatnot. This perk here will automatically disassemble all junk as soon as you pick it up. So you just pick up the junk, it gets automatically disassembled, and you earn crafting XP on top of that. Every time you disassemble something, you're earning crafting XP, and it will automatically add the associated components to your stockpile of components. I think this is really worth it. Why would some people not want to get this? Because occasionally some junk is worth a lot of money. You're going to run into some junk that's worth like 750 eddies. And, you know, those who like think, okay, it's a bad idea to get the scrapper perk because you're losing out. You're basically scrapping something that's worth 750 eddies for 2 or 3 components. I think it's worth it because the number of times you run into really high value junk is really rare. And this just eliminates a lot of the tedium involved in disassembling junk. Okay, so that's what you're up against. You may lose some money, but that doesn't happen very often. Most of the junk is truly just junk. Alright, so we're getting this. Alright, so henceforth, all junk is going to be automatically disassembled. Done and done. Alright, now let's start killing these guys. He's distracted by the radio. Let me just do a quick save just in case Mr. Fumblefingers decides to screw this up. We're going to go after this guy first. We're going to stealth kill him because we're working on leveling up stealth now. That's our next target. We've already got stealth level 1 or stealth level 2 is going to increase our evasion by 3%, and we get up to level 3 and we get a perk point. Evasion. As far as I could tell, what evasion means is like every enemy has a chance of missing you when he's shooting at you. Okay? So the higher your evasion level, the greater the chance that his shots are going to miss you. As far as I can tell, that's what evasion means. Alright? This first guy here, we're just going to sneak up, grab him, non-lethal kill, and we level up stealth. Don't loot him right away. Pick him up. Jackie's going to move forward. Immediately take this guy off around to the side. Dump him here. Then loot him. And everything is good. And Jackie always moves forward to that position there. Now, we want to stealth kill this guy, but this guy's got eyes on him. What we can do is... It's even worse now because he's moving over here. Let's see where he ends up. Yeah, he's kind of like a little too close there. So what we want to do is target him and use the reboot optics quick hack, which will blind him for 8 seconds. Okay, so do that. Wait till it fills up. Boom, he's blind. Then we're going to sneak over here and stealth kill this guy. Non-lethal takedown, and when you do that, Jackie automatically kills that guy. Alright. Now this area is clear. And our objective is to use the path marked by T-Bug, which is through this door here. And there's kind of like one final boss guy. As you can see, the game has just told us that who he is. He's just like the scavenger leader. And he's got like a heavy machine gun. There he goes, he's right there. And what happened there was the enemy just became aware of my presence. Let me just do a quick save and show you what happens, okay? If we like go out in the open there. See that? See the eyeball filling up? Boom. Now he's fully aware. Alright? You have a grace period. You hear that little blink? That means they first noticed you. You have like a grace period to get out of the line of sight of the enemy. If you do that successfully, then he won't spot you. Okay, so you know what happens when the suspected eyeball or the suspicious eyeball completely fills. Here's this filling up. Just get out of the line of sight and he goes back to normal. Alright, so you have kind of like a grace period where they first spot you, and as long as you get hidden again, they'll go back to their regular routine. Now this guy we could kill in any number of ways. We can kill him with a handgun, we could kill him with our sniper rifle, or we could stealth kill him, and that's what we're working on. We're working on stealth, so let's continue to do that. Let's just check it out. Cool. And as you can see, we already got level 2 in stealth. We needed to get up to level 3 to get our free, or rather our multi-build low level perk point, and that's what we're going to do. Problem is he's got eyes on us, but we can use this device here, which is a floodlight, to distract him. Plus we're earning breach protocol XP. So he's going to come around. He's going to inspect the floodlight because there we go. And let's just, he's got his back to us now. Grab him, non-lethal takedown, and Bob's your uncle. And did you see that? We got 11 experience points for doing that non-lethal takedown. Now why do a non-lethal takedown? This is something I'm not going to do throughout the entire walkthrough because, well, let me just explain. First of all, do a non-lethal takedown, you get 11 experience points. Now you can execute him and kill him and get more experience points. Now, some people seem to think this is a great way to farm experience points. I find it tedious, number one. And number two, it just takes all the fun for me out of combat. if the enemy is trying to kill me, I'm not going to go after them with non-lethal weapons. I'm going to kill them. Okay, so yes, you get more experience for doing non-lethal takedowns and then afterwards going around and executing everybody, but I'm not going to do that, alright, because I just find it too tedious. But I will do that this time for demonstration purposes. So, there we go, more XP. More XP. And I think some of the guys that Jackie took down, he actually killed them, so we won't be able to get more XP and more XP. Alright, so that's what that's all about. But like I said, I'm not going to do that because for one, it's tedious, and number two, it takes all the fun out of combat. Alright, so let's turn on the dialogue again because this is important. And
How is it? Flat out doubted we could be that sneaky.
well, you're rolling with the Slackster.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
not my favorite way to roll, but
Yeah, I know, your guns are blazing. You're a real blithering idiot when it comes to combat. You're gonna see that later on. He's gonna piss you off something fierce. Anyways, here is whom we came to rescue. Sandra Dorset. Let's check her out.
Think I got her. Got our target.
We make it? She alive?
About to find out.
V, jack into her biomon. Need to know what we're dealing with.
This is one of my favorite parts of the game when the nudity sensor is turned off. Why, Slack? We'll turn it off and you'll see. Or maybe you already have it turned off. Anyways, let's check her out. Oh, hang on. Quit nagging me there, Jackie. Let's check out this dialogue. Got another body in the tub.
She's in the tub of ice. Crammed in with another. Fuck. Like slabs of meat.
Keep it together, V. If she survives, she won't remember a thing. Tiny scar on the subconscious, that's all.
People who live through shit like this get panic attacks. Without ever knowing why. You'd be sipping a glass of ice cold water and suddenly your hand's shaking.
V, jack into her biomon. We need to know what we're dealing with.
Jacking in.
Okay. Jacking in.
Sandra Dorset, NC570442. Trauma Team Platinum.
Platinum? Shit. Trauma should have swooped in if she sneezed.
Guessing they jammed the transmitter, Sig. Looking at a hacked biomon, firmware reconfig, or a neurovirus.
Carajo, T-Bug. You ain't seeing this place. This is tubs, ice, hooks, and cleavers.
Scott Muncher's hack, huh? Got an idea. Check her neural port. Find a shard? Yeah, pull it. That'll be what's muting the biomon.
Found the shard. Removing now.
Check the biomon. Anything change?
Greetings, Sandra. If you are conscious, assume recovery position now. An emergency evacuation unit has been dispatched and is due to arrive at your location in 180 seconds.
Biomon claims trauma will be here in 3 minutes.
Your premium plan will cover 90% of the projected costs of your rescue and treatment.
Ay, pobrecita. Let's get her off that ice.
Oh, fuck.
She's flatlining.
Uh-oh. Pulp Fiction time.
B, need to know what's going on.
Jackie, air hypo. Fuck, this is bad.
Hey, catch, vato!
I think... Holy shit, it worked.
Fuera, cabrón. Get her outside. Scav rats abandoning ship. Must have seen trauma. Decided to cut their losses.
Okay, and you take her outside.
Landing. Stand clear. Initiate security protocol. Follow all instructions. Place the patient on the ground.
Okay, you're gonna treat her right, right?
5 steps back. Now. TT-133 to control. Patient NC570442 secured. Stimulants being administered. 70 milligrams dopamine, 110 norepinephrine, 800 fibrinogen.
All right, Jackie, what do you got to say?
Elevator.
All right, not before we loot everything.
Good work. Shit show's over. Cutting my wires now. See you in the near future.
Hey guys, real walkthroughs like these are an endangered species here on YouTube. For a complete lowdown on the YouTube video game walkthrough scene, check out my Patreon page and please consider making a donation to yours truly, Major Slack, to help keep real walkthroughs alive on YouTube. You can donate as little as $1. That's $1, that's all. That's all it takes, alright? Thanks a lot, really appreciate it.